My name is Sam Singelyn, and I will be doing a presentation on the introduction of hockey in America. So, Americans are among some of the fastest and most competitive athletes in the entire world. Now, hockey as a sport did not start in America. It actually started in Canada and Europe. It started in the 19th century Canada, specifically in Nova Scotia and Montreal. It was adapted from stick and ball sports, and if you're not familiar with that, that would be stuff like lacrosse, also field hockey. The first game ever held was in Canada in 1875, and after that, the game just exploded and became huge. Now, a lot of people in Canada grew up playing hockey, and that's continued throughout today. The first U.S. match was played at Yale University in 1893. This match was actually organized by Canadian students. They played it on a frozen pond. This information comes from the Stanley Cup Journal. The first international match was held in Baltimore in 1893 against a Canadian team. And then hockey clubs began to form in universities across America, mostly starting in the northeastern regions. Cities began to develop leagues and clubs. For example, Boston and New York. Boston Bruins became the first U.S. team in the NHL, and that's the National Hockey League. Which was primarily a Canadian league at the time, and this comes from NHL history. Popularity increased, and this caused more cities like Detroit, Chicago to form teams, and there's teams we know as the original six. That's kind of what started the whole National Hockey League, and those teams were the first original in all of the NHL. And then this began to expand and accelerate the NHL and hockey in America as we know it. So hockey becomes an American staple. In 1980, there was Miracle on Ice, and if you're not familiar with that, that was the 1980s Winter Olympics, where the Americans, USA, faced the Soviet Union and beat the Russians in what was a crushing defeat for the Russians, and it just brought up morale all in the U.S. and really grew the game. People started to love hockey, and now U.S. hockey remains large in northern cities, and now we're even creating new markets in the South and the West. So we've got Dallas, Las Vegas. There's a couple new teams. There's Seattle, and so next time you think about going to a hockey game and you sit down there, you're looking at the ice, now you know a little bit of the history. Thank you.